Isn't it amazing how great this past year was for anime? I'm shocked with all the great shows and stories we got this year. Maybe one of the best years for Japanese animation in over a decade. And it made it all the harder to decide my top 10 shows of the year. This channel really did make me watch so many anime series, which probably were the most I've ever started in my life. And while I don't really want to do that again because of burnout, 2021 honestly didn't disappoint me at all. And like with everything in my life, I'm already late to do this video. I did want to talk more about the other anime that came this year, since top 10 doesn't really do it justice, but I plan to upload a different video where I go over the rest of the anime I recommend from 2021, and recollect over what else happened. If that sounds fun, please subscribe to get notified. Also like this video and ring the bell, it really helps. But leaving that aside, let's go with the main event. These will be my top 10 anime of the year, which I enjoy the most and consider totally recommendable. If your favorites didn't make it, don't worry, it's just my dumb opinion. But let me know what you loved in the comments. Alright, let's get to it. I know the trend right now is to call anything remotely popular mid or overrated, and whenever Tokyo Revengers gets any mention online of being the best of the year, it gets kinda scoffed at, and I honestly can't see why. Maybe I'm biased because I've always loved time travel stories, but I never expected to get so invested into the twists and turns of an anime about teenage street gangs in Japan, and the ramifications of the protag's actions in the present. Takemichi feels like a truly fleshed out character, so relatable from the get-go. And episode 1 truly just takes you in with the crazy story of him somehow going back 12 years in the past, and start this journey to find a way to shape a future where his ex-girlfriend doesn't die. Now that's my kind of show. I will admit that while the designs are fine, they're nothing spectacular, and the animation starts to go down almost at the end of the season. But the great characters, the interesting plot, and the way time travel is used carry the show. Even though these are supposed to be 14-year-olds, but anime I guess. The main Tokyo Manji gang are a joy to watch, going from total badasses against their enemies to chill and relaxed people when with friends. Mikey and Draken are the prime example of that. Plus, the mystery of how or why this whole gang scenario goes rogue and they become full-fledged criminals in the future is so entertaining to think about. Seeing Takemichi grow up from this crybaby hero, which is a perfect name for the great opening, into someone willing to do anything to fix his future and save his loved ones is a treat. Lots of crazy situations, with the suspense of seeing something go wrong and how that will affect the future, and that ending for season 1, man, I definitely can't wait to see what's to come. My Senpai is Annoying is a perfect blend of likable characters interacting with each other in really chill situations, while being funny, wholesome, and desirably romantic. A great example of how just having a really good cast can elevate a normal plot into a great show. Sakurai and Kazuma are seriously relationship goal material, but I don't agree with a lot of people's opinion that they should be the main focus of the show. Futaba and Harumi are a really cute pair, and seeing the small green-haired girl trying to grow up and earn that respect from her peers while being guided by this obliviously warm-hearted big boy is so much fun. And the secondary couple have been shown the right amount. We don't get burned up on them, while giving us beautiful episodes like the aquarium date and the ever-loved beach episode. Also, it's Saori Hayami as Sakurai. You really can't go wrong. Apart from her, the voice cast do a really good job and give life to these quirky, lovable characters. Not to mention the good animation and a color scheme that I really enjoy for the location they give us. If I had to nitpick, is that Mona seems like a nameless character right now, since even Yuto and Natsumi have more development than her, but maybe she'll get more love later. Great show overall, and like with pretty much all of the listings, a banger OP with amazingly fun animation. You won't be annoyed. While 2021 gave us a bunch of vampire shows for some reason, Vanitas no Carte just edges in to be my favorite, and it's honestly not too hard to see why. Combining the great animation from Bones and the lovingly crafted music by Yuki Keijura meshed with great characters voiced so perfectly, you have one of the most entertaining and beautiful looking shows of last year. Vanitas and Noe are a great pair of main characters that play so well with each other, with Noe being the sometimes oblivious, star-eyed, responsible one of the duo, and Vanitas just being Vanitas. Wild, funny, charismatic, romantic, and a total nut. Honestly, one of my favorite new characters of last year. His relationship with John is so weird but super endearing, and he manages to be a cool badass thanks to his magical powers and clever thinking. The mystery of where this vampire human world is going and what evils lie behind these crazy organizations, plus the colorful set of characters that represent them, is just a great combo. Vanitas flirting with John, the amazing fight sequences, exploring both Noe's and Vanitas' past, and expanding this world have been my favorite parts. And the goofy changes in the animation style really helps it be endearing. I'm so ready for what the second season will show us. Definitely check it out. I read about this anime before it came out, and how it's about a socially awkward student who is incapable of speaking with other people, and how they just strive to be able to come out of their shell and make a lot of friends before their school life is over. That's me over 10 years ago, that signed me up. But seriously, Kami-san is a godsend. The premise of how Kami isn't able to talk to anyone, but the school already adores her, is perfect. And her relationship with Delano is really cute and wholesome. I'm still certain that the chalkboard scene in episode 1 is one of the most heartwarming things ever. Her communicating her feelings with someone is so nice. I'm a fan of pretty much all of the crazy characters in this school, maybe with a few exceptions when introduced. However, they do get better by the end of the season. Apart from that, it's pretty much perfect. Najimi is a freaking blast. I love their randomness and the way they're super confident and popular, but love to get into trouble. Kami's family are also a delight. Nene came in late, but I adore her big sister vibe. Omoharu the Chun Nibu being so extra and adorable. And Makeru's imaginary competition with Komi is always hilarious. I love the expressions they give her. The style of the show is brilliant, accompanied with the manga effects, great sounds, amazing comedic timing, and really well done voice acting. All the cast delivers, even Komi, who doesn't really speak, but her little way of trying to communicate is so well done by the amazing Aoi Koga, who also voices Kaguya. The opening is easily one of the best we got last year and describes the show very well. Kami learning how to order food, the water park episode, the school sport festival, and all the little segments in between are so good. Kami slowly progressing towards her goal is the perfect mix of funny, wholesome, and cute. It getting a second season so soon is super exciting. I won't shy away to say that Kami-san is definitely worth your time. Arguably having the best first episode of the year, 2 Year Eternity is one of the most captivating stories to come out of anime. If an orb coming down to Earth with the ability to turn into anything, or anyone that has died in front of them, and then will experience some of the saddest and grandest adventures ever isn't enough to capture you, I don't know what will. This show will make you cry. Hard. Like I mentioned, episode 1 is the perfect way to open the series, showing us the life of a lonely boy living in the Arctic, with the hope of his loved ones someday coming back. The way this show exposes several arcs with the new civilizations and characters you'll grow to love, and the way this creature is living all these lives and seeking his purpose for years, is engaging and emotional. This journey of his to figure out what it means to be human is deep and amazing. And that life has to move on, and how sometimes the relationships you've made can take you to places you've never expected is so impactful. I really can't go any more deep into spoilers with this one, and if you've seen the show, you know why. This magical story of human relationships, and showing us how small the world really is without a doubt an anime that will be treasured for a long time. Great animation, superb character designs, great music, and voice acting help this tremendous story come to life so well. This is what anime is made for. Yeah, this is technically a Chinese animation, not anime itself. But if Gigak did it, so can I. I'm not usually someone who strays from Japanese or American animation, but a Chinese show getting major praise, a second season, a Japanese dub, all in the span of a year, you know it rocked the boat. Because Link Click is one of the most intriguing ideas brought to animation I've ever seen. The premise of two young guys being able to jump in and out of bodies in a certain time period just by looking at a photograph and being able to alter the basic timeline is so crazy, but they managed to make it work, while also building this mystery since episode 1, and enveloping us in a bunch of emotional and quirky stories, setting up this detailed and relatable world. The basketball series of episodes got me in such an unexpected way, without even mentioning the rest. Many twists and turns in a set of only 12 episodes, and you're left asking, what will happen? What's next? Will they screw up? All while opening the chance for even more potential scenarios to come. Animation wise, it's great, up to par with the general quality Japanese animation has given us as of late. The story and its characters is what will hook you. I was at the edge of my bed binging this for this video, and I'm so glad I was able to confirm what others have been saying about this series. Link Click is worth it, so don't waste your opportunity and give it a shot. The fact that this masterpiece being overlooked by Crunchyroll for Anime of the Year still astounds me. I totally get the arguments that Rudy is way too horny on main at times, and it once or twice can cut the flow of the seriousness of the story, but disregard that little negative, and you have yourself one of the best isekai animes, heck, one of the best fantasy stories to ever come out. Mushoku gives it all. A bit of comedy, fantastic fight sequences, gorgeous backgrounds and animation, power leveling, magic use, and really well done character designs, combining all these great things to build a world of so many possibilities. Rudy definitely gets some relatable points, because the series cleverly doesn't ditch his past life and shows us his insecurities and how he was a victim of bullying. This new world gives him the second chance to explore and indulge himself, sure, but it soon pile drives him with the need to grow, to become stronger, and take responsibility for his family and friends. His journey through this first season is so interesting. While he is still a bit of a perv, he cares for these people and will either ingeniously find a way to get out of any trouble or rely on insanely well done side characters. Like all great casts, you're interested in how they develop and what they'll bring to the table, and Mushoku creates an amazing world filled with different races and cities crawling with creativity and unique characters. Rudy's family are developed well during his childhood phase, Roxy is a delightfully quirky but capable wizard teacher, Ares is one of the best female characters to come out of anime this year, growing right next to Rudy. Richard's journey to not be discriminated is intense just like him, among several others, which impact the story in so many ways. The world building is at a whole other level. As mentioned, the fights and choreography are superb, and the animation style lends itself well to feature such great movement, while letting these great characters emote, be funny, or dramatic when needed, as well as the incredible voice talent. Rudy's journey to help not only save the world, but also his perception of himself and the trials and challenges that come in front of him was truly wonderful to watch. Please don't disregard this series as mere cultured anime or isekai trash, because you would be missing one of the greatest fantasy worlds ever animated. It's really tough to find a way to sell Odd Taxi as the third best anime in such a packed year, especially if you just saw the okay animation and the art style through the first few episodes. If you were like me, I thought it was only fine, but the whole animal shtick didn't really do anything for me, and I left it on the hold column while I was trying to binge through all of the other amazing shows that came out during spring. But around the 8th episode, I started to notice this sort of quiet rumbling about how this was getting good quick, and man, that's an understatement. Odd Taxi delivers one of the best well-written stories / mysteries I've ever seen. The story of a walrus taxi driver was well enough by itself, but then the case of a missing high school student sweeps the city, and from there we keep getting new characters revealed and how they fit into this rich world full of detail and charisma. The best way I can describe all this is trying to complete a puzzle, and you're slowly being given pieces. You can fill in some blanks and small pictures with what you have, but there's no way to connect them just yet. You get more areas filled while you go on, then boom, the pieces start coming together, and you reach an amazing finished puzzle that now actually makes sense. And you notice little secrets that were in plain view, but you did need the whole context beforehand. You will need to be patient and commit to the show in order to fully get the picture and know why this is one of the best rated shows ever. Believe me, the journey is worth it. The city and its quirky cast of characters are so well developed, you will relate with one or another. Be it someone finding any way to be visible online, a doctor trying to do what's right, a pair of comedians trying to not let the flame burn out, an idol group trolling away to get the big shot, or a hopeless single guy trying to find love. Or heck, a guy addicted with mobile gacha games. Which, by the way, episode 4 is one of the best episodes ever done in an anime, giving us such an enthralling character study into how someone in too deep can throw away his life in an instant. Can't say much more, but get enticed and get ready for an oddly amazing story. Robot. If you had told me that an original idol anime was going to be one of my favorite shows, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But give the story to the person who wrote Re:Zero, music by the one who composed for Beastars and the Monogatari series, and animated beautifully by the ever great Wit Studios, and you have yourself one of the craziest and entertaining stories ever. The ominous opening signaling the end of the world a la Terminator, then jumping back into the past with Vivi being the first autonomous AI who is only designed to be an idol singer, but is thrown into the fight to try and avoid a series of historical events that unchain the worst possible future is a really great treat. And in a year with tremendous animation, Vivi, in a close fight with number 1 in my opinion, has some of the best. The character poses, the fantastic locations that we get to see in this world that's slowly getting more futuristic, the freaking fight scenes, and yes, the story itself. Prompting Vivi to actually feel the weight of this responsibility, knowing that certain events will happen that she can correct, but can't act on to not screw up the future is really emotional. Accompanied also by amazing music, from the several great openings we get to the OST, the inserted songs that we get from Vivi and the rest of the AIs we get to meet, all so good. Just like all these shows, the cast is wonderful. Vivi is extraordinary. Although being an AI, she can go from being autonomous and serious to being so full of life and spunky, then to knowledgeable and calculating, and willing to do whatever she can to make the world smile with her beautiful voice. Matsumoto is a great partner, although he will keep you guessing what his true intention is, which is a great character trait for an interesting story. The rest of the divas and their arcs, the emotional humans that we get to meet, and how they impact the future in their own way is so good. A beautifully done story with an amazing crafted world that travels through time itself and keeps us guessing what will happen next. It's pretty much perfect, and it was this close to being my number one. Before reaching the end, let me quickly list the honorable mentions. There was way too much good stuff to not talk about. 86 has been great, although the second core really held it back in my mind. Skate was a fun ride, although a bit too boy heavy, but its wacky characters and JoJo feel had it close to the top 10. Miruko-chan surprisingly was also near the top, regardless of its horny first episodes. It really picked up after that. Heion Serai hasn't really gotten the attention it deserves, being an action-packed absurd show a la Kill la Kill. Taisho Otome was a heartwarming love story that got a little real by the end. Blue Period made me cry more than I'd like to admit, and Vampire Dies in No Time as well as Oramichi Onisan were underrated masterclasses in comedy in their own quirky ways. And of course, the sequels that we got. There's more, but we will talk about them at a later date. Okay, let's finally get to... I really had a tough time deciding my top 3. All of them at one point were my show of the year, but the one that felt totally right in my mind is Osama ranking as the best thing to come out of 2021. Maybe I'm high on Wit Studio's amazing animation and designs. Maybe it's the amazing cast of characters where you're intrigued by each one and they all feel integral to the story that's being told. Maybe it's amazing colors, backgrounds, and effects that we're witnessing. Maybe it's the art style that feels like a storybook come to life. Or maybe it's the best boy of 2021 Boji trying to overcome adversity and the odds stacked against him from being small, weak, deaf, and unable to speak, but all that with a smile and drive to prove himself and become king somehow. This is peak fantasy. The idea of kings beating others with a ranking system is simple, but greatly done as a premise. It truly just is, the stronger you are, the more adept you are to rule. And then we have Boji trying to prove them all wrong. Every episode has been amazing, no real miss so far, but 1 and 2 gave us the perfect explanation of who the main pair are. Boji, who I mentioned, and Kage, the shadow figure with one of the saddest backstories I've seen in a while. You will cry over a little black blob with an eye and a hook hand. The way Wit has executed all this makes it a league of its own. Not to mention the numbered but amazingly well animated fight scenes that we've had. The squats and stretch in these characters is so real and it's perfect. The flow of their movements, the sword attacks, Boji's Ultra Instinct movements. It's so great. And again, the cast is so perfect. We get a glimpse of Boji's royal family and guards, and how they can be so cunning or evil or trustworthy, and in the matter of episodes with the right context, we actually see these royal mind games they're working in order to get to their goals. Boji, Kage, the royal guards, the other kings, Daida's internal struggle to prove himself while being manipulated, the mirror, Despa, Best Mom healing. My god, all so well done, all so likable and entertaining. A great first OP, and although it doesn't really count for the purposes of a video, but the second opening is so godly, it's already a candidate for the best opening of 2022. Boji's battle to better himself, to fight against his salty tears, while being one of the most noble and loving characters in anime, while not even talking, is a journey you have to watch. This will go down as one of anime's greatest stories ever, I'm sure of it. Although its cartoony, childish exterior may discourage some, definitely don't judge a book by its cover. Again, what a fantastic year. Thank you so much for watching me geek out over my favorite shows. I appreciate it. What were your favorite shows? Do you think I left out something more deserving off my list? Please let me know in the comments, I'd love to talk with you about it. Now I can finally watch some winter anime. So wish me luck with that. If you'd like to see what I think about that, or talking about more 2021 anime, subscribe to be notified, and leave a like so we can somehow take off. Also, let me know what you're watching. I'll appreciate any recommendations since I'm pretty late to the party right now. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have an amazing 2022, and we get more great shows like these ones. Hope you have a great day. See you guys.